Are we ready? I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Oh my God! Hey! Wow! Holy shit, we're ready! Whew. All right, so I don't need to bring the energy. It's already in here. Oh wow, this is really loud. I'm naturally really loud, so I'll tone it down a bit. We're gonna balance it out here. Are we good? No one's going deaf right now, and I won't get too loud. Crank it up? Okay, all right. Let's go. Thank you all so much for being here at 2:30 in the afternoon on the final day, Wednesday. I am stoked right now with this turnout. When I got here 20 minutes ago, there was like 12 people. Thanks for being here, sister. In here, and I'm like, okay, this will be all right. Like my 12 employees, we're gonna kill it. And so thank you so much for being here. I am honored that all of you are choosing to spend the next 45 minutes of your life with me. That's me right there. My name is Kathryn Elizabeth Howard, and this presentation is about unlocking hidden talent to drive profitable revenue. And a little bit about me really quick, if you don't know who I am and what I do. I am the co-owner of Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We are headquartered in Fresno, California, and we proudly serve now with recent acquisitions from north of Sacramento to south of Los Angeles and the entire Las Vegas Valley. Very excited about that. We're one of the largest woman-run trades organizations in this country today, and I'm very proud and honored to lead the team that accomplishes that. Now, one common question that I get at these events is, who are you and how do you own Lee's? Because we all know that Tom Howard owns Lee's. He's owned Lee's for like ever, and who are you? I'm Tom Howard's little sister. And how I own Lee's in a nutshell is when I took over the company earlier this year, in exchange for me doing that, he had to give me a piece of it. All right? So now it's a real family-owned business. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Welcome to the show. I'm happy you're here. Thanks for coming. And why did he give me a piece of it? Not just because he loves his little sister. Tom loves his businesses a lot, all right? God and family first. Contracting is definitely a highly ranked third on that list. But he gave me part of his business in exchange for my promise to drive profitable revenue, to increase the enterprise value of his company, because basic financials tell us that that's the reason that you go into business, to increase the enterprise value of your company. And how do we do that in the trades? We drive revenue and profit to a bottom line of EBITDA, your earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, all of that stuff, all right? And then they value your company based off multiples of your EBITDA. So my job in exchange for part of Lee's was to increase the EBITDA, to raise the value of the company, because at this point in time, Tom decided, based off the macroeconomic conditions in our market and his personal circumstances, that it would be a good time to increase the value of his company and take on a capital partner in the near future. That's why he brought on me. I got a piece of it. I'm now a co-owner of Lee's, and my job is to drive revenue profitably, increase the EBITDA, to increase the enterprise value of Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. All right? I'm Kathryn, and it's really great to meet you guys. Definitely consider myself the better Howard, but I'll let you guys judge that one for yourself. Here we go. So Tom said to me, you think that you could get like 10 million in EBITDA? I said, yeah, sure, of course I can, right? So for the purpose of this conversation that we're about to have, I want you guys to think about how much money do you want to make? How much EBITDA do you want to make? How much will that make your company worth? And there, if that's your value, you could potentially partner with one of the great capital organizations out there if you choose to do so based off the macroeconomics and your personal circumstances and the ability to liquidate your business and put that cash liquid into the bank for the security for the future of your family, right? Maybe your kids don't want to inherit a business. Maybe they'd rather inherit $50 million. Ask them. So how much do you want to make? And I know that I'm new around here, but there's like a common theme that like making money is for the devil or some shit like that. I don't know. Something. I don't know. But if you're in this room, I'm going to need you to agree with me that making money is a good thing. All right? Making money is a good thing. All right. So how much do you want to make? Tom said, can we get over 10 million in EBITDA? I said, I think we can. I'll give you some quick results before I get into why in the world I thought I was qualified to make $10 million in EBITDA. All right, and I'll give you a little perception. I'm 3 years into this industry, all right? And when I say 3 years, I tell you to the day, October 2nd, 3 years ago, I got on a plane in Chicago, Illinois, and flew to Yerevan, Armenia, where I met Tom, and I met some of our contacts from church there that he had found, and we had like this 3-bedroom apartment that had no hot water, and Tom had me live there for 3 weeks like he can't afford something better. It was rough. Where there I started a call center, CSRs, bookkeeping assistants, payroll assistants, and HR assistants for an all-in cost of $1,800 an employee. Every single employee that I hired there 3 years ago still works for Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating today as a dedicated employee. They are ServiceTitan experts, and they make around 300% their national average. So they're the top of the top of the top, right up there with doctors, lawyers, and software engineers in their country, which gives them an opportunity to earn money and provide for their families in an economic situation that is far less fortunate than our own. Something that I'm super, super, super proud of. 3 years ago today, I got on the plane and started this journey in the trades. From there, I'll tell you that story in a moment, but I went on a journey that led me to believe earlier this year I could take over Lee's and increase the EBITDA to over $10 million in a trailing 12 months. Our results, I'm not sure where the 71% came from. I fact-checked this all today before I came in. Right now, I can tell you organically, the companies that Tom had last year under our umbrella did around 35 million, between 34 and 35. And in the past 10 months, we've done around 54 with those companies, almost 55. Organic growth, and with our recent acquisitions, is around an extra 35 to 38 million in revenue, putting us over $100 million in revenue for this year. We did not sacrifice our EBITDA, because my whole job is to increase the enterprise value of the company, right? So we can't like spend more and make less. That's not an option. So over 5% increase in our net profit percentage, which is millions of dollars of growth in EBITDA at Lee's Air this year. That's Tom and me. Also Tom and me. I know Tom's been a lot of things to a lot of people in the industry, but to me, he's always been my brother. That makes me a little emotional. I probably won't cry during this presentation, but if I do, that's really normal. All right. Everyone that works for me is used to it. What's up, Mitchell? Thanks for coming. All right. So real quick, in a nutshell, why I thought that how I got from here to here, and why I thought I was capable of increasing the EBITDA and the enterprise value of our company. That's me and Tom when we were little. Really American story. Our parents got divorced when I was an infant. We were raised by a single mother who worked really, really, really hard to provide for us, but we were really, really, really poor. And that was rough. And on the flip side, we had a father who was married to a woman, and they had some money, but they were abusive. So we started to develop a relationship with money, that money was bad, and people who had money were bad, and people who were poor were good. And at some point in time, we came together and thought, what the fuck? that can't be, right? Because if you're poor, you can't even help yourself, let alone anyone else. So we should do something about that. And Tom and I took the pain of our childhood and just went separate ways. A lot of you know that Tom turned to God, and I turned to like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. All right. Not so much rock and roll, actually. It was like early 2000s R&B. If anyone's here with me on that. However, I can say that I think in this industry there's a lot more of me than there is of Tom, right? I turned, 16 years old. I was 16 and pregnant long before it was a TV show, okay? I got kicked out of high school because back then, once you show, you had to go, all right? 10th grade high school dropout, started getting into drugs, substance abuse. I'm an entrepreneur minded, so you know where that went. Straight to federal prison. True story. Facts there. Long story short, I got out of prison, and you got to find a job, and I didn't want to go back to prison, and I had these kids, and I tried to get my life together, and I found network marketing. Because there it didn't matter if you came from Yale or jail, if you showed up and you worked hard, you could make something. You had to learn some sales skills, you had to self-develop, right? And you had this volunteer workforce. So to be successful in network marketing, you had to have systems that were so simple anyone could do them because they just showed up, paid like $39, and they owned a business. And they had to be so effective that they produced revenue because these people only got paid if they produced revenue, right? And that's a huge part of what I brought with me into this industry to drive profitable revenue. Systems that are so simple anyone can do them, yet so effective that they work. Super important. If you didn't catch that, you might want to write it down. Super, super, super important. Are your systems so complicated that most people can't do them? Or are they so simple that they're ineffective and they don't work? Think about that. Because when you start to create systems that are so simple in sales that anyone can do them, right? But so effective that they work, driving profitable revenue becomes a whole lot easier. And that's what I experienced here. So network marketing, that's what I was living my life when during the pandemic, Tom was having trouble staffing his business in California. And he said, if you want to go to Armenia with your network marketing, you can go and be a CSR and maybe find some friends to be a CSR, Kathryn, and you can answer the phones, and that would be great. And I was like, sure. Hey, Tom! Ha! Oh! Really glad you're here for this part. Where am I? All right, doing good on time. And I'm holding this like a microphone, and it's the clicker. Shit. Okay, so there goes the video. He said I could go and answer the phones. In my mind, I thought I'm going to go find some people, and they're going to do what you need them to do, Tom, and I'm going to go, swimming in the Persian Gulf, living in Dubai, and you're not going to know because I'm on the other side of the world, and that's what I did. But 3 years ago, I did go open a 24-hour support center that has made large contributions to the Armenian economy. They're very well trained on Service Titan. They provide all functions of Service Titan for our office and many other people, and we're really, really happy for them. They've scaled to hundreds of agents in that very little office from that 3-bedroom apartment with no hot water that Tom left me living in. We already covered that, Tom. You missed it. All right. Times were tough with that. But creating those systems from Armenia, when Tom found out I was swimming in the Persian Gulf, he said, can you come back to Las Vegas? My call center needs help. We have these businesses. We brought them together. And you know the call center. I said, no, I'm busy in Dubai, very, very busy here. And he said, well, you come back. I'll pay for you. You can live on the strip in Las Vegas for 3 months. And you put the call center together. And that's how I'll do. I said, oh, okay, the strip in Las Vegas. Here I come. See, Tom was a great leader, and he knew what would bring me. And we're going to get to that point when he saw that, wow, I think that Kathryn is doing something great, because when I put the call center together, after 3 months and I was getting ready to leave, they asked me to take over HVAC service. I said, I can't spell HVAC. They said, that's okay. Drive revenue, Kathryn. I said, oh, I know how to do that. Right? I went to HVAC school because I had to learn HVAC. I became an HVAC service technician, and I worked in the field in Las Vegas. Then they let me be the HVAC service manager. Wow. I was into the business for like just over a year at that point. Maybe not even. All right? Then, after I started to learn HVAC service, but I was really strong at driving revenue, I asked them, can I go into sales? Because that's where the money's at. One time, somebody told me that leadership is the highest paid skill. I said, no, it's not. Sales is, for sure. As business owners, though, I believe leadership is the most profitable skill. And that journey from the call center to HVAC service, to HVAC service management, to HVAC sales, to the HVAC sales manager, and observing how things were being done and how I thought that we could simplify and make more effective systems is what made me believe that if I went to lease, I could increase the EBITDA and raise the net enterprise value of the company. That's what I thought. And Tom was willing to risk it. So we went on a journey. More people can be great leaders than think they can, but they need a purpose that's greater than themselves. By the end of this presentation, we'll go over how to identify hidden talent in your organization, how to develop that talent, and how to use your team to drive revenue profitably. All right? Sunny. This is Sunny Shoot. You want to stand up? Come on, stand up, Sunny. We got Sunny in the crowd today, right here. And I'm going to tell you a real quick story about Sunny. I got her permission before this because Sunny grew up in Fresno. And if you don't know about Fresno, it's not a real happening place. We're not talking about Las Vegas here. It is not a thriving metropolis. That's not how it works, okay? And she grew up there her whole life. And Fresno's kind of a rough place, okay? And so Sunny kind of grew up in a rough life. Kind of similar. I shared some of our stuff before. I won't go into too many details, but one time she shared with me that when she was 13 years old, they got their first car, and she got to go to Clovis for the first time. Clovis is about 8 miles north of Fresno. And wow, it was nice, because Fresno isn't so nice, but Clovis 8 miles away is like the suburbs, you know? And at 13 years old, that was her first time to go to the suburbs, because that was her life. And so she had, gone along her life, and she had become a CSR at Lee's. And when I got there, self-admittedly, you probably weren't the highest caliber of employee. All right? She was one of those who like, you should watch out for that Sunny, Tell Sunny to sit down in there. And when I talked to her about what it was like when I got there, she said she didn't have any permissions on service tied in. She didn't feel any purpose or accountability, and her culture didn't drive performance. Okay? It wasn't so good. But then when I fired her boss in the presence of chaos, I fired a lot of people when I got to Lee's because they were taking more from our organization than they were giving. And I make it very clear to my staff all of the time that if your contributions to our organization do not meet or exceed your rate of salary, it is my responsibility to remove you. It's a legal obligation that I have to the shareholders of this company, many of whom are sitting in this room, and that's in our staff meeting, to act in the fiduciary best interest of this company. And I have a moral obligation to the people, the children, whose parents trade 40 plus hours a week of their lives in exchange for a paycheck, that I'm able to provide that. So if your contributions don't meet or exceed your rate of salary, I love, honor, and respect you, but you gotta go, and you gotta go now. For sure. And that's a culture that drives performance, my friends. Sunny kept coming out in chaos and saying, Kathryn, how can I help? She started pulling lists of high opportunities to outbound for. She started creating scripts and training in the call center. I went in and looked at her service titan, and she was like assigning tasks and moving this around and operating at all levels. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even want anyone to know, because now Sunny can run service titan. Holy shit, come on, Sunny, come with me. Come on, come on. And so now Sunny's our sales coordinator. I told you our growth already, and she's overseeing the whole thing, the simple systems that we put in place to drive revenue profitably. She watches over the entire system. She has access to all permissions on Service Titan. It's a culture that supports innovation. When we needed to adopt new technology, when Rilla came out, I said, Sunny, you're going to be in charge of this. You're going to bring it in. You already work with the salespeople. You're going to be the leader. This is someone who is making minimum wage as a CSR that everyone told me to watch out for. Right? And I'm going to tell you how to identify that top talent and how to develop it pretty quickly here. Now Sunny's on salary and she gets to travel. Like, she implemented Rilla. So when Rilla had their first party in Miami, Miami's a long way from Clovis, ain't it, girl? Sunny had never been on a plane before. I said, we're going to Miami on a yacht. Wait till you see the color of the water. Ain't got nothing on Pismo Beach. No, I'm just kidding. Right there. And she's trained for higher opportunity calls. Most important to me, Sunny knows she has a career in the trades, a solid income for the rest of her life because of the skill sets that she has on Service Titan. For someone who grew up in Fresno, California, in the depths of poverty, I promise you that means something to your people, and there's a whole lot of Sunnys out there. Justin Howard! Stand up, stand up, stand up! Justin Howard has no relation to myself and my brother, real talk. But he did start working for Tom at $9 an hour. There's a common theme here. Tom's cheap. And we won't say any names. When I talked about him about what his experience was before, he said he was on autopilot. There was zero encouragement for innovation, and he lived in a constant culture of fear. And when I showed up and I said, how fast can we do installs? Like, let's find out the logistics. 1.25 days. I said, oh, hell no. He said, no, Kathryn, you don't know what you're talking about. This is California, and it's not going to work. And blah, 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 blah. I don't know what else he said after that. I wasn't listening. And I remember sitting cross-legged in an office chair next to you when you were telling me this, and I just started spinning around, and he was like, oh, God, this bitch. And I said, it's going to be a game, Justin. It's going to be a game. You remember this conversation? Yes. I said, we're going to put, like, all these screens up, and we're going to figure it out. We're going to dispatch. We're going to do this. We're going to create an incentive structure, a pay plan that drives performance, and we're going to show them how we can do it. We're going to put the strategic partners in place. We're going to have the cranes. We're going to get the inspection guy. We're going to do all this stuff, Justin. He was like, oh, okay. All right, Kathryn, sure. It's going to be a game. Sure it is. He's still our install manager because your contributions greatly exceed your rate of pay, and we're grateful to you. So grateful for that. Last July, our residential HVAC install department did 79 installs. This year, Justin's team, the same manager, did 239 HVAC installs. Justin, who started at $9 an hour sweeping our shop, will be attending the Stanford Business School in 2025. And right here, Tom had to give Justin a piece too. Right here. This is Orlando. He's one of our service technicians that was there when I got there. And I asked him, what was it like? Because you weren't making any money when I showed up. Like none. And, he said it was an isolated working environment. I got in my truck and I went to work every day. I didn't really know how anyone was doing. I didn't know if I was making money or not making money. I didn't really know where I scored up or what the expectations were. And there was really a lack of confidence in the leaders. I didn't know what my expectations were, and they weren't holding me accountable, so I knew they weren't holding anyone else accountable. And so what the fuck is the point of working hard then? I was like, I get that. He said, there's no transparency in the numbers and the goals. Like, it just didn't even make sense. We just got in our trucks and we went and we did our job, and that's what we did, Kathryn. Even though, when I showed up and said, yeah, Tom, I can get $10 million in EBITDA, Tom had a kick charge Dan brand. Tom had a world-class marketer. Tom had wrap trucks, new tools. Tom had a training center for technicians. Tom had a new building. Tom had almost all of these people with Lee shirts on in the front row, right? Tom had everything except a whole bunch of revenue. And I was like, that's me, right here. I can do it. I said, we can drive it. We can come in. The only skill that I had was leadership. And could I use my leadership to optimize the performance of the human talent that I had? Because that's the difference between 35 last year and 54 in the past 10 months, when you already have the greatest technology, the greatest software, the greatest marketing, the greatest brand, some of the greatest employees, technicians, training center. Tom had those bases covered. You all know that. None of that could have been the answer. I had to pull $10 million out of somewhere else. And it was these people right here. I wear work boots up here today, and I run our technician call at 7:30 every single morning because I don't have a single employee that's more important to me than a skilled technician. If you guys do, I don't know who they are and what they're doing. But in our business, technicians are the kings and queens, if you ask me. So I changed the environment for our technicians to a high-performance environment where they knew their purpose, if it was to produce revenue for our company or to provide a quality maintenance service for our customers or to warranty the work that we had already done. Every single technician in my company knows their purpose and knows their value, and it's not all to create sales. I need some people who fix things and do it really, really well, and they're really, really important to me. The most important to me. Orlando, as a service tech, when we changed him from his environment, propelled towards growth and a spirit of teamwork, he made just over $100,000 last year in personal income, and this year will make more than $500,000 in personal income. Do you know why that's most important to me? Not because I like to say, damn, Orlando, you're rich now. That's life-changing money for a man who has a wife at home with 2 small kids. It is. You know that. With no education. But listen, you guys, our country's in trouble. Demand for our services is at an all-time high. Skilled labor is at an all-time low. The only way to fix that is to raise the consumer perception of the cost of our services on a massive scale, a national level, so that we can pay these people more. Yeah. Do you guys know that? If you're refusing to raise your prices because your sales training skills and strategies are ineffective and outdated, you're doing our industry and the communities you serve a disservice. We have to raise the prices. We have to increase the value of this position so that we can pay them more. Not only will that attract more quantity and fill in the skilled labor gap, paying them more, we're going to get a higher caliber of employee. All right? When we do that, our market will make a correction. We'll have enough staff to provide the essential life-saving services that we do for American people for the next 100 years. Right now, if we don't get our shit together, that's not the case. Raise your prices. Pay your technicians more. That's the answer. I'm telling you. But in order to do that, they have to have a high-performance lifestyle. You have to have a high-performance environment. You have to create an opportunity for them to do their jobs. If you don't know where you're going, you might not get there. And if you don't tell people where you're going, you might not get them to follow you there. I told every single one in my company when I showed up, we have to increase the enterprise value of this company so that we can get the best capital partner that we can, so that you guys have jobs for as long as you need them, and the residents of our communities have these services for the next 100 years. And they said, okay, let's do it. How to identify hidden talent? Curiosity, coachable, committed, courageous, and caring. Right here, they have to be curious. They need to be asking questions. And when I say asking questions, you want to be listening for questions to see how you think. Sonny asked me, where are the high opportunities? How do we make more money? How do we drive revenue? How do we decrease expenses? Listen for those questions. They need to be coachable, and by coachable, I mean when you give them new information, they identify it as new, and then they act on it. They don't let it go in one ear and out the other. They don't question you about, do you know what you're talking about, when you've already told them that it's fact, all right? And they need to be committed. That means this is not my job. That doesn't exist. No one in my organization would ever say that to me. There's no way. I'm looking at them right now. They're like, oh, hell no. No, because we all committed to increasing the enterprise value of my company, because they need jobs and my community needs service. They need to be courageous. We act fast. We execute fast. We fail fast. We pivot. We reevaluate. We try 3 more times, 4 more times before you guys even started trying. You got to act faster. You have to have a courageous team, and they have to be caring. What's really, really important about caring is if they have the first 4 and they actually don't care about people, they are the worst employees, because they present themselves as the leaders, and they will lead your team right up to the edge of the cliff and watch them all jump off and turn around and be like, you fucked up your business, huh? You know, terrible. The other thing is, if they're caring without the first 4, really, really bad employees too. We love them, we honor them, we respect them, but they care a whole lot, but they're not productive. They can't work for you. It's not personal, it's business. All right? How to build that hidden talent? You need to trust them, you need to train them, and you need to use technology for the love of God, people. You need to trust that they're better than you. You need to trust that they're better than you. If you think that you're the best and you're always micromanaging, there's no even point in having that employee. If you want them to grow, you need to trust that in that position you put someone who's going to be better than you. Every single person in every single position in our company is better than me in that position. That's why they're there. You need to train them. You need to provide quality training. That needs to be important to you. And you need to use technology. You guys, technology is only going to grow faster. You all know not that long ago, within the past few decades, you could buy a yellow page ad in the phone book, and that was your marketing. What the hell did Google do to us last year? Times have changed, and they're only going to change more. You have to adapt technology. You have to be the first ones. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to spend the money. Your systems have to be so simple that they work, and anyone can do them. So effective that they produce revenue. That's the answer. Leadership increases revenue profitably. I told you guys before that I thought sales was the highest paid skill, but leadership is the most profitable skill. And if we're business owners and we increase the enterprise value of our company and we liquidate that so we can put the money into our bank account to provide generational wealth for our children so they can chase their dreams and do what they want to do with their life, and then we can use that money to impact the world, maybe leadership is the highest paid skill, right? If you're in a business setting, One of my favorite quotes is from this book, Winning. It's by Tim Grover. He was Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's performance coach. And you know how I like to told you everything is a game in business for me? He says it doesn't happen all at once. For my athletes, it starts with the first workout in the off season, builds until the last second of the championship game, and continues into the first workout of the next off season. For my business clients who play a harder schedule than any athlete, it begins with an unpredictable array of opponents with no off-season, no playbook, and no clock to stop the action, with unofficial scorekeepers and referees who are constantly changing the rules. For everyone, there are endless setbacks, challenges, roadblocks, letdowns, and issues that force most people out of the race. Can anyone relate to that? Right. But when you're a leader, you face all of that. If you don't get kicked out of the race, it's because you're a leader. It's because you have a team that can fall down and get back up, right? And when you do that, no matter what kind of troubles your business faces, you can overcome them and come back with the sales and come back with the revenue. Yeah. You guys saw this guy over there. How leadership increases revenue profitably. A lot of people are like, well, she's got this tech that's selling $20 million a year. Of course she's doing well, right? In fact, he sold 3.275582 in July. In 1 month, right? Some people come and they say, how is that even possible? It's the technology that we use, that we've mastered, right? And I asked him today, I fact-checked and said, what was your highest year that you ever sold before we worked together here? He said, 8 million. A year. And he just sold 3.275 in July. Because when he came to work for me, and he said, Kathryn, I really want a place that I can thrive. Can you create a culture, an environment where sales is important? In sales, I can do what I need to do to drive revenue. I said, I think I can. And can you do what I need you to do so we can increase the enterprise value of this company? And he said, I think I can. And we set out together to develop strategies and systems that were so simple anyone could do them, yet so effective they would drive revenue. And when we talked about the personal income of our technicians, yes, he's exceptional, but I have several that will be at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 million dollars this year. And they make 7 to 10%. Personal income, they're all HVAC technicians. I don't have any salespeople. We already went before, that was last year, 34.65 million, trailing 10 months, that's how long I've been there. 53 million in the trailing 10 months, and we have the same brand. I have most of the same employees. I did cut a lot of them. I was able to attract some high performers once we created that environment. We have a culture that supports sales, that we have everyone signed on to increase the enterprise value of our company because they understand what that means for them and what that means for us and what that means for the communities that we serve. And that's really important to me. Now, I've got just 6 minutes left. I'm going to finish this really quick. If you have, we're going to do a visual representation, a dollar bill in your pocket, I need you to get it out. A dollar that you can spare. You can use a 5 if you want, but whatever you take out, you're not getting back. I have some extra dollars if you don't have one. Yolanda, will you help pass them out too? That we're going to do really fast. Go as fast as you can. Pass them out. If you have a dollar, get it out. Super, super important. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Hey, can I ask you guys a favor real quick? Can you raise your right hand up? Raise your right hand, everybody. All right? Now can you raise it a little higher? Why didn't you give it 100% the first time? Now raise it again. People will rise to the standard that you hold them to. Remember that. That's not the cool trick, though. We still need the dollars. Hurry up. Get the dollars out. Get the dollars out. Get the dollars out. Are you ready? Do you have any more dollars? Everyone have a dollar. I'm going to ask you guys to stand up. To stand up. I asked you in the beginning of this presentation, how much money do you want to make? If you increase the revenue, if you increase your EBITDA, it increases the value of your company. You can sell it. You can provide generational wealth for your family. So I asked you to put a number on that, right? But what does generational wealth for your family mean?
Do you want us to holler it out?
No. I was just giving you a moment, all right? A moment, right? It's the impact that money has. When you thought about how much money you wanted to make, that money really doesn't mean anything to you. It's what you can do with that money. It's the legacy that you leave for your children. It's the people's lives that you can impact around the whole world. The trades is $1 trillion and trillions and trillions of dollars. I need a dollar, though. Does anyone have one? All right, here we go. You got another one? No? Okay. All right. Put your I know you all thought about that dollar that you want to make, right? All that money that you want to make, but it really is about the impact and the lives that you can change. And when you focus on the lives that you can change, the money is going to show up, right? That's how you drive profitable revenue, is you impact lives in a way that they understand revenue over expenses, and they get in your bus and they drive with you because it's important to them, because then you can pay them more, because then they can do more for their families. The sooner that you attach to the impact that you can make with all of the money that you can earn in this industry, and you take your eyes off of the dollar value, the faster the money will appear, all right? I'm going to count on the count of 5. Think about how much money you want to make. Think about how you're going to impact the world with that money. Attach to that impact and detach from the dollar. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just drop the dollar. Right? The people who work for this hotel, who are going to come in here and clean up after us today, their lives are as important to them as the greatest people on earth's lives were important. Your CSR, your technician, your employees who maybe only make minimum wage, their lives are important to them. And they might just need a cause to attach to that's greater than themselves, and they will run through walls for you. Right? We're going to leave the money on the ground because the people coming in here picking up these chairs probably never came into a whole bunch of money on the ground. And we as tradespeople, as hard-working, blue-collar Americans with access to trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of GDP in this country, we're going to raise our prices and we're going to take the money back because we're going to impact the world, and we'll start by letting these people cleaning up this room know that today. I know that your lives are also very, very, very important to you, and you had a mirage of places that you could be for the past 44 minutes because I stayed on time. And I honor, love, and respect you. Thank you so